How's everybody doing? Yeah, so I just got a message on the Facebooks, which doesn't show up in the consolidated chat, because why would it? From my kiddo Abigail, who says, have I seen the Lil Nas X Montero video? Want to talk about Christian's responses to it, specifically Ben Shabibo. I'd be game for that. If y'all are interested, we could watch a bit of Ben Shapiro talking out of his ass about things he doesn't know and doing it in a...
Okay, so here's the thing about the way that this video is actually word of the devil, and obviously this is cancel culture, canceling Satan for some kind of new weird homo agenda thing. I would enjoy the fuck of that. Why not even? I'm down. Okay, one person. Let's that's a consensus as far as I'm concerned. Let's see what we can find here. So if I go to YouTube and I search on Ben Shapiro, what is it? Montero. I feel like Ben will have... Oh, Matt Walsh, even more Nazi. One thing I will respect about Matt Walsh is that in his bio, he actually says he's a fascist. And like, good on you, man. Way to own that. Do we have Ben? Oh, mom reacts. This might be fun. Some mom reacting to Lil Nas X and Montero. I don't... Did Shabibo actually talk about it? We could talk. We could do the... Let's watch Matt Walsh. Because he's equally evil. Yeah, let's watch.
Today we're going to take a look at the song and video that has caused a stir in recent days. This is Montero by Lil Nas X. You may remember Lil Nas X. He's the guy who made Old Town Road, which is a quote-unquote country song that sounds a lot like the rough draft of a real country song that somebody wrote in 92 seconds on the back of a paper plate when they were sleep-deprived and drunk. What I'm trying to say is that the song sucks and has always sucked, and I tried to warn people about this when it first came out, but you all wouldn't listen to me. So he made Lil Nas X rich and famous as a musician, despite his near total lack of musical talent, despite the fact that he clearly has nothing at all to say or offer whatsoever. Now, here is the consequence. You did this to yourself. Let's, we're not gonna watch that. I don't think we can make it through this whole thing, but we're gonna watch as much as we can. This is Lil Nas X, Montero. Let's check it out.
I caught it bad just today.
As long as he didn't start by, like, totally poisoning the well, right? That's a thing. Okay. I'm really enjoying just how genuinely uncomfortable he is right now. Like, Matt Walsh is just... This is the worst thing he's ever seen in his entire misbegotten life.
Okay, a couple of thoughts here. First of all, artistically speaking, the song is trash. A lot of...
No, it's not. It's not Leonard Skinnerd, which clearly is what Matt Walsh would have preferred. But it's a fine fucking song. It's a interesting song. It's got a good hook. I'm not a rap person. I'm certainly, you know, when it comes to rap, I'm more of an OG. You know, the days of my rap listenings were, you know, Public Enemy and NWA. But there's nothing wrong with the song. But let's hear Matt out. He clearly has important artistic impressions to make here.
Very expensive visuals went into this video, but underneath the glossy packaging is a song that sounds entirely indistinguishable from about 50,000 other songs. If you heard just the melody and some of the lyrics, you would have no idea who made the song because it could have...
That's true, Matt. It's almost as if
You know, people writing music are not completely redefining genres every time they release a song, but that's, you know, clearly what you would expect.
Been made by any of about 600 different pop artists. This is the musical equivalent of canned food. You just pull it off the shelf, pop it open. Here, you know, and here's another song sounds just like this, served right up. Ah, but hang on, you say. See, this is different. This is totally unique because whereas normally these songs are vulgar and sexual, this one is more vulgar and more sexual. You see what he did there? He's a true pioneer, this guy. He listened to modern pop music, and he thought to himself, what if I did exactly that, but made it slightly dumber and cruder? A true moment.
That's never happened in the history of making music before. I have to say, no artist has ever pushed the boundaries of what they were doing. What a hot take from Matt Walsh. You know, he doesn't have the same complaint when people try to make Christian contemporary rock more pious than the last song. It's really only when you know, black people make a song that is less comfortable for him. What a hero.
Moment of artistic inspiration. I mean, this kind of moment, it's the kind of moment that Michelangelo must have had when he conceived of the Sistine Chapel. And it was this inspiration.
Because art stopped with Michelangelo. That's true. That's real.
That led to lyrics like, and I quote, "I want to sell what you're buying. I want to feel on your in Hawaii." The man is a poet. You can't deny that. And by poet, I mean that he has the writing talent of a sixth grader scribbling curse words in the back of his math textbook. Okay, now we're
So I think what Matt Walsh is arguing here is that we need to drastically improve funding for English literature classes among people who live in marginalized communities. I'm 100% hearing you. That makes a lot of sense. Let's see. I did a quick search of Matt Walsh to see if he consistently complains about these pop trends, and wouldn't you know, it's only when it involves brown people. Michelangelo hated painting that roof. From what I understand, he actually did. He didn't want to, and it was like not a labor of love. There's a video that I saw years ago where they go to the Precious Moments Chapel, which is those little sad-eyed dead baby figurines that you can buy, and they have like a little Hickville Quonset that they've turned into a chapel that's all painted like the Sistine Chapel in the style of the sad-eyed dead babies. By that, what I mean is Precious Moments. The sad-eyed dead babies. So it's entirely like, can I get a shot of the chapel ceiling? Oh, look at that. So like, this is an example of the incredible artwork. Okay, it's not available. Let's see if we can find. Yeah, here's a. Like, just look at the majesty and the beauty of all these sad dead babies. What a great thing. Anyways, an aside. Matt Walsh, hero for good.
We're gonna skip ahead a little bit because I can't watch this whole damn thing. I can feel my brain shedding brain cells in protest as we watch this. So we're gonna skip ahead a little bit.
I believe him.
Until we get to this part right here. Watch.
Okay, that's just good. Like, it's a decent song, artistically beautiful spectacle, creative. Like, first off, he's complaining that he's not original at all, and this is not original. That's original, dude. I'm just saying, I don't remember Pantera having a video where they pole dance into hell.
And clearly, fuck the devil. I think that's a good Christian message, Matt. Matt, I'm sure you agree, right? So, real quick before we get too deep into Matt's incredible take on this, Matthew in the chat says, I bet it would take me 5 seconds to find something where he defends a conservative art piece by saying, if it makes you uncomfortable, lib cuck, it's supposed to, and yet he thinks that's the point, that it makes him uncomfortable is an argument. I feel pretty strongly that you are correct on that. On the Facebook chat, my kiddo says Lil Nas X came from some serious shit, and his music career, specifically Old Town Road, apparently brought him out of homelessness, helped his mom with some health stuff, which is fantastic. And I'm certain that Matt Walsh is about to tell us that he is 100% supportive of this young minority person lifting himself up by his bootstraps, utilizing the things that give him a competitive advantage in the marketplace of free ideas to better his family and to create art that allowed him to improve his station in life and to help his mother. I'm certain that Matt is about to say that. Let's hear him say it.
I was watching that video. I kept thinking about this article that I just saw online. Scientists announced that there's not going to be any asteroids to threaten the Earth for the next 100 years. There's not.
That's not, no, Matt. You missed your moment. You missed your moment to praise the colored man for doing good. I'm surprised, Matt. Okay.
Going to be any. We don't have to worry about any Earth-destroying asteroids for at least the next 100 years. And I watch a video like that and I think, well, that is such a disappointment. You know, that's devastating.
Oh, if only genocide. Poor guy. I get what he's going for there, and you know, it's a waka waka, but like, if I had one wish this Christmas season, it would be that I could put together a satchel filled with human penises, and I could mail it to Matt Walsh, and he could spend some quality time eating that bag of dicks and do it on camera. Because as if that's a man. Look at his face. That's a man who's tasted human flesh and wanted more.
Yes. Because that was our way out. It's a damn asteroid. Now, the first point to make about the satanic imagery that you just saw there is that this dude is trying desperately to shock and offend us with the same routine that wasn't even all that shocking when Marilyn Manson did it 2.5 decades ago.
Or when King Diamond did it, or when everyone has done it. Satanic imagery, it's not that shocking, and yet, here you are fucking talking about it on the interwebs. It's less shocking to you now than when Kiss or Gwar or whatever, you know, did their thing. Because you're a little bit more immune to it, but your reaction is the same. You're still freaking out and acting like this is some kind of war on God. You fucking moron.
This is not interesting, it's not bold. Kids today, if you're a kid and you see that and you think, oh, no one's done it. No, this has been, like, they've been doing this for decades, this shit. It's been done 1,000,000 times.
Okay, the two things he brings up as his arguments for why this is unoriginal thought are Like a Prayer, which, if you haven't watched that video, is a genuinely it's not got anything to do with Satanism. It is Madonna, who I'm not a big fan of, but a genuinely amazing song, giving voice to the stories of racism and abuse and all kinds of things, and this video is supremely amazing. And then this image right here is Sinead O'Connor ripping up a picture of the Pope on Saturday Night Live. I saw this happen live. She was singing a song about children, and then basically said, we have to, do something about the biggest evil in the world, and ripped apart this picture of the Pope, and it was a huge, powerful moment, and one that she was fucking right about. And I think, current events with Kamloops might just provide a little bit of a, why is this the case? But it's just an example, obviously. But the following week, Joe Pesci was the host, and he came out and he was like, yeah, so I gotta apologize about a thing that happened last week. Oh, of course, that wouldn't happen if it was me, because, she pulled out that picture of the Pope. I'd have slapped her. And I remember, even as a kid, being like, dude, did you just, flat out say that your response to someone speaking their mind would be to beat a woman? Cool take, bro. Anyways, let's go back to Matt's incredible...
I mean, I've seen cards in Cards Against Humanity that are more surprising and shocking than this. And this really is. This looks like they wrote a bunch of random, edgy words and concepts onto some strips of paper. They wrote like Satan.
That's such a bullshit statement. This isn't a bunch of random clips of these things will offend. This is a whole video that tells a very interesting and ornate story in a very vivid way. And yeah, it contains things that Matt Walsh isn't going to like. The thing I meant to hate, yeah, the real problem is it's been done before. Like, my mans can't even get the values he's supposed to be arguing from straight. Absolutely. To argue that this is not a really powerful spectacle is basically flat out silly. Sorry, Matt, but you're being a dork.
Stripper, murder, lap dance, and then threw it all into a hat and drew a handful randomly and made it into a music video.
No, because there's a story that's told that goes from the start to a finish that contains all of these horrible, horrible things they drew out of a hat, but tells a whole story. If it was just a bunch of random shit people pulled out, it'd be like nuclear holocaust, anti-Semitism, dog rape. That's not a story.
Even the Satan shoe that he's putting out that's gotten a lot of attention with human blood in the sole, the way it's designed, it makes it look like something that the goth kids in my high school made themselves at home.
Okay, sorry, Matt. Those kids were not in your high school. You are far older than those kids. And if you're not, you look it.
We're just missing the fishnet stockings. It's all just painfully derivative and boring. With that said, this guy is doing this, and here's the one difference. He's doing this after intentionally and carefully cultivating a following of young children, not teenagers.
So he's a queero who's coming for the bebes. Oh, Matt. I actually think that it's hilarious that I don't know shit about Lil Nas X, and the first time I heard of Lil Nas X was when they were having the success with the Old Town Road video. And I remember thinking, wow, this does not appeal to me at all because it's this weird marriage of country music and rap. I like some country music and I like some rap, but, I know what that baby's going to look like. It's going to have 3 heads, and I'm not interested. It's just not my thing. Later, when I found out that Old Town Road was essentially, if I understand correctly, it was like him very overtly announcing his homosexuality. I think that's fucking rad. I think it's cool that we live in a world where kids can be comfortable coming out as being gay or whatever. Yeah, watching Racist get right into that song was glorious. I totally agree. That was some good quality shit. He makes it sound like what Lil Nas X did in his, obviously in the marketing department of big music. He was like, first, I'm going to get popular, which is easy. Then, I'm going to make everyone into Satan lovers. Fuck right off. The classic, the gays are pedos, certainly not projection from Catholics and conservatives. Bing, 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 bing. I was like, nobody tell them. Yeah. It seems like the louder you complain about the degeneracy, the more degenerate you are. Speaking of degenerates.
Okay, you want to know how young? He appeared on Sesame Street. He wrote a children's book. He performed at elementary schools.
Yes. And?
He even said recently, and this is his quote, that children are his core audience. So while the Satanist stuff isn't new or interesting, he is perhaps blazing a new trail by specifically marketing this to young children. Like,
okay, that's not even blazing a new trail. Satanic Temple, color or activity book. The big book of activities. This is like my favorite thing in the wild world. The Satanic Temple has this big book of activities. And it's a kid's activity book. I think I can actually like get the PDF of it online. I'm not sure. They may have stopped doing that. If I add PDF. After school Satan clubs. Yeah, Vox has a thing about it. No, I can't find it and I don't know. But it's literally, it's a kid's activity book that's all like, it's done in the style of a kid's activity book. Let me see if I can just find, like, I just want to find a sample picture. I think there was one on the first page here, like an example of, no, that's just the cover. But I've actually looked through it and it's adorable. It's like mazes and word searches and stuff all surrounding Satanism. So he's not even original in trying to bring Satanism to children. Wasn't Dungeons and Dragons doing that in the 80s? Fuck. Who is Metallica, Alex? Remarketing satanic imagery to young people. Like, come on, Matt. You were just arguing that none of this is new. Damien would be the leftist angel. Gladly expose my children to that. And then you're like, oh, this is new, by the way. Yeah, he's like, there's nothing new about this, except it's new. But there's nothing new about this. Choose a team there, pal.
5 years old. His own core audience, he says. Now, that doesn't make him a rebel or a genius, just a predator. Now, he's a disgusting dirtbag predator who shouldn't be allowed within 50 yards of a school ever again. And I'd say that even without this song, because his music is so stupid that I'm afraid it might have an effect on children that's very similar.
Oh, the pedo. The threat of the danger pedo lurking by children's schools. Hey, Matt, that's been done before. Maybe come up with some new material, because now it's so old, right? No one was shocked when people were talking about pedophiles in kids' bathrooms back in the days when it was gay pedophiles. Now it's trans pedophiles. We're, keep up with the times, buddy. Hate proper.
Similar to the kind of effect that repeat head trauma from football might have on them. His music...
I love that Matt was like, hey, I can't think of anything related to what black people experience. Oh, football, that's a black thing.
Generally, and this in particular, is stupid, desperate, cliched, nihilistic, semi-coherent sludge with no value whatsoever, and everyone who listens to it is lessened by it and dumber for it.
And may God have mercy on your soul.
And that's just a long way of saying that I don't really care for it, personally.
Turns out, pretty much everyone at the Daily Wire was not terribly huge on Lil Nas X. What a fucking cretin. Like, I'm not saying that I expect better of a guy who's a self-defined fascist. Like, I'm pretty sure, I may be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure if we go back and we look for Matt Walsh, oh, wrong thing. Right here, Matt Walsh, his actual channel.
One of the great things about working in conservative media is that I don't have...
Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe it's like, I don't know where it was, but I'm pretty sure, and again, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that in one of the bios I saw for him on some video, he was like, proudly saying, yes, I am in fact a fascist. Hey man, hats off for masks off. Anytime someone is straight up about, yeah, I'm a Nazi, or I'm a fascist, or I'm a, terrible monster, like, fuck, way to go. At least we see you and we can cross the street or throw a rock, right?